Like Lisa said, I am the department chair for PE, but a little bit of my background is I've been with the district now for 28 years, and in those years I've really seen a lot of change. I think when I started there may have been about 800 students enrolled in the high school, and now we're nearing 2,000. I've been mentored by many different administrations, and I've seen the service of quite a few school board members over my time, and maybe 4 superintendents. The community itself has changed. I think maybe there were a couple stoplights in town and a McDonald's, and that's grown, as well as our facility. It's had several referendums and grown in many different ways. I've seen growth in our curriculum, and can you imagine the technology from when I started to what it is now? I mean, I was on the mimeograph and typewriter, and so there's a lot of change and a lot of growth. But one thing that hasn't changed is that I love to get up every day and come to school and do my job. And I love it so much that I have an early bird class, so I'm there at 6 a.m. So I enjoy that. And another thing that does not change is really the dedication that we all see that our district provides for every student to have a second-to-none education. So that's really great. Now, PLCs have really impacted my department because you need to know that in previous years when we would meet for collaboration time, we almost had to do it in 2 meetings because we had so many people that had other activities or coaching duties that they couldn't, come to all the meetings. So we'd have a Monday night meeting, and then we'd catch the rest of the people up on Tuesday morning, and depending on the season, it was different people at different meetings. So, we were getting things done, but the PLC really has provided uninterrupted time of collaboration where we are really going from good to great, and we're on this great journey. And in order to really kind of explain where we're at and where we're going, we thought it would be nice to show you where we came from as well. And we put together a little PowerPoint, and I had help from Shelby Gages, who is in our department, and part of our collaboration sometimes means leaning on those younger teachers who can help us with the technology, and it's been great. So we're going to show you a little bit. This first slide is actually our mission statement, building healthy students. And we created this in one of our first few sessions. Now, I might be going back a few years before I started here, but we can see that Batavia has a rich tradition of physical activity and pride. But you can also see from the 1912 yearbook that perceptions of health and physical activity were very different. Can you imagine us putting this in the yearbook this year? Over the years, you may recognize what physical education looked like for you, your parents, or for some of you, your grandparents. That was actually in the yearbook, happy hour, boys' gym. We won't do that anymore. Over the years, you may recognize what physical education looked like for you, or if it had at one time regarded PE with a stereotype. Okay, I know I actually did tinkling when I was in elementary school, but we can assure you that this is no longer the tradition, and we are really steering away from those kinds of stereotypes. We are also happy to know that there are some things in Batavia that stay the same. Matt Winkle was a student.
Exactly the same, almost.
Yeah. Matt was a student when I was teaching there, and actually Joe Yeagle was at one point part of the PE department, becoming an administrator, hired me. And Jim Roberts, a student athlete from Batavia, is now in the PE department. So we're really glad that some things, do stay the same, and there's some tradition there. The professional learning community has allowed us time, really, to gather what we know, that physical activity really impacts students. But it has also given us the time to show that there are some strong implications to brain research and overall learning. We know that activity increases the firing of the synapses of the brain, which enhances memory and learning. And some schools have done studies that show that the class that a student takes after PE is the one they excel in most. This information really only fortifies our mission and our value as an integral part of the educational process. The PLC process has now given our department this valuable time to collaborate on issues that directly impact students. Our first order of business was really to focus on collaboration, and from there we moved on to focus on learning and focus on results. This time has been uninterrupted and sacred, and we have very strong guidelines for being there, and I do know that our department works well outside of the hour given each week, and because there's a lot of assignments done for the next meeting. This has been time to, like I said, reinvent ourselves and create our mission. And I know that in the packet we gave you, it was our mission, our vision, and our value statement. So it was a chance to really start from the big picture and ask, what do we want students to know? We also spent time at the beginning to create appropriate norms for assessing and grading so we can gather data that is consistent between all classes and all teacher. And then we had time to analyze data to find our greatest area of need based on the 5 components of health-related fitness that we assess in every class and every year. So every class, no matter what it is, we assess on these 5 areas. And it was evident from the data that we found that our greatest area of need this year was to try to improve flexibility. Only 61% of our students were in the meets or exceeds range, and we would really like to improve that by 5% each year until 90% of our students are in this category. With this data, we created a SMART goal. And with the SMART goal, the measures and targets, we created an action plan. In setting up our action plan, we can see that there's really been an impact on more than just flexibility, and I'll kind of go through some of those numbers towards the end. One part of our action plan includes creating this record card that we implemented this year. Every student has this, and it will stay with them all 4 years, and they can see their benchmarks, their current past results, and depending on if their age and their gender, they can see exactly what's expected of them. From these results, we have a TriFit fitness assessment software that will show them the results. One thing we've done to help improve their flexibility is create a link on our website called Flexibility with Fuquay, where students can log on and try to do some flexibility exercises when they're watching TV. And Angie's here with us, and thanks Angie for helping put that together. And if anybody needs an extra tip, she's our flexibility expert in our department. We've also allocated extra time during our class to improve and have students do their own measurements before they're assessed so they can measure their improvement as we go. When all 5 assessments are completed, what we now do is have each student set goals on what needs improvement, what needs maintenance, and how they will do it. A big part of our action plan was to increase the level of concern and trying to improve the motivation for better results when we were testing. So we put together a yearly record board, and this is this year's current record board, which can change at any time if somebody surpasses one of these, and we're going to create an all-time record board. This record board is available to view online at any time, so students know where their targets are, and we are also putting up a large whiteboard in our fitness center TriFit room, so when kids walk by they can kind of see, and as things change we can erase and put those up. This year we've also instituted a senior award for male and female students for outstanding performance, effort, and attitude. And this will be awarded at the Seniors Honors Night. We were fortunate enough to kind of go out and get a few donations, and Export is donating membership for each of them, and they will also have a permanent place on a plaque in our facility somewhere. We haven't decided yet, and they will also have a plaque to take with them. We will continue to update our website with pertinent information for all students and parents. We know that this was really important because communication was key, so students could know exactly what was expected, what the 5 components of fitness are, how to link to their grade, how to make up classes, ultimately how to be successful in PE. And it's really nice to have Shelby also help with the technology on creating this. We're having a few issues with it as we've transferred Google Sites, but it's up and running, and I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it. It's really changing and evolving, and the students like going there. We can assign activities and assignments from there, which is all very new for PE. All the while, we continue to review and enhance our curriculum, aligning with our mission to build healthy students, physically, cognitively, and socially now and for a lifetime. We continue to offer curriculum that you've seen in the past, and a few that are new this year. Some of these were instituted about 6 years ago. We have the early bird, and we have dance. Some of these are the general PE classes and activities that are still very popular. We have the rec games unit, which goes off campus for some of their classes. And we just try to meet the needs of all students. And we also do what we can to be part of the overall school improvement plan, because we know that that's important as well. As we continue to grow, we use new technologies to gather data and assess performance and improvement. Pedometers, pulse bonds, projection systems, and it's important to show students how they're doing and download heart rate monitor graphs so they can see their progress. It's really important that we know that each student can see, feel, and measure the results that they have. That's just a subliminal message. And we then celebrate those victories, one class or one student at a time. And yes, we do have students who do not accomplish satisfactory results. And we are looking towards creating interventions that can help them succeed in the future. For example, some of these printouts will give them information on how to improve or maintain the different areas that they're being tested on. So far this year, these numbers might not make sense, but I'll kind of add them up for you. We find our results are very good. For example, we were trying to get a 5% improvement at least. We did a group report of students that were tested just first semester, and we were astonished to see that our flexibility grew from 61% of the students were in the meets and exceeds category up to 85%. 96% of our students have been assessed in all 5 areas. The 4% that weren't assessed were either because of a medical issue or homebound tutoring. 95% of all students then did fill out their goals. We have a web assignment to kind of orientate all freshmen to our website so they know how to access the pertinent information. And 92% of the freshmen that did complete that had 90% proficiency. Now, this is not something that we were real happy about. We wanted at least 90% to complete it with 90% proficiency. So right now we are already making some interventions to have the freshmen maybe use the computer lab to make sure they get in there and have access to that web assignment. So we would like to get that up to 90%. Here we're just going to show you our excitement of the new facility. This is just a quick visual to the changes that you can see. When I tried to get a picture of the school, I walked out towards Main Street and I couldn't get it. And I had to walk back to Engstrom and I couldn't get it. It is so wide now. So we just took a picture of the front. It is so big and wide and amazingly different than that first facility. Some of you might recognize gyms from long ago and when the gym was built here at the high school. And if you haven't had a chance to visit our new fitness center, it is really amazing, state of the art, and the students just love it. We are very excited to get into the new PE Center field house, hopefully next week with our students. We keep staring in the windows, drooling, waiting to get into this. This is our new dance studio, which opened last year, and Angie teaches classes in there, and it's very popular. And just to show you, back in 1967, the wrestling team had practice in the main hall because they really didn't have the facility necessary at that time. And now there's a facility dedicated just to that. So we are making quite a few changes. And what I'd really like to do is just say thank you, because without this extra time for collaboration where we can use the data that we've collected and now have the time to analyze it and see what we can do to peel back the layers and go a little bit deeper, it's making a huge difference. And since I have your undivided attention, and this may be the first and last time PE will talk in front of the board, we have a little something for you. And this is a thank you. It's a short little video, and it's really a palindrome story. And it's going to read in one direction with one meaning, and then it's going to read in the opposite direction with the exact opposite meaning. The first reading is, what would happen if we didn't have your support? What would happen if you didn't give us the tools, the facility, and the time to do what we do? And the second reading is, because of what you've done, this is what our students will experience, and this is how we are going to change the community and build healthy students. So Tony,
bottom right tile there.
The bottom, where? Which one?
Right, the red flower, orange.
This one?
Right there. Hit that. Yep.
Oh, gotcha.
Then go to
then this one.
Yep. And then hit play.
I got it.
All right, it's gonna play.
I can do that. Okay, and sound.
Did you unmute it?
Okay.
We had the sound before.
Yeah, we had it. I think it might have gotten muted.
It was working before.
It's not going to match up with the sound. You need to start it over.
We'll just go from here.
Cut.
We won't do
Cut.
We won't do a full screen then.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. Batavia is on a mission to build healthy students is an untruth. Our bodies can tolerate inactivity and poor nutrition. So in the future, we will tell our students that the secret of health is available because video games, TV, and fast food are a bigger priority than fitness and nutrition. We tell you this: our bodies survive type 2 diabetes, but this will not be true in our lifetime. Newborn children have a life expectancy lower than that of their parents. Experts tell us you can't overcome the genes you've inherited. We do not maintain that we can control 65% of our health and aging through diet and exercise. In the future, obesity and disease will be the norm. No longer can we say that our society cares about the health of our children and grandchildren. It is apparent that our generation is becoming more unfit every day. It is irrational to accept that we can truly make a difference. Batavia is on a mission to build healthy students. We can truly make a difference. It is irrational to accept that our generation is becoming more unfit every day. It is apparent that our society cares about the health of our children and grandchildren. No longer can we say that in the future obesity and disease will be the norm. We can control 65% of our health and aging through diet and exercise. We do not maintain that you can't overcome the genes you've inherited. Experts tell us newborn children have a life expectancy lower than that of their parents, but this will not be true in our lifetime. Our bodies survive type 2 diabetes. We tell you this: fitness and nutrition are a bigger priority than video games, TV, and fast food. The secret of health is available. So in the future, we will tell our students that our bodies can tolerate inactivity and poor nutrition is an untruth. Batavia is on a mission to build healthy students. So thank you for all that you do and help us to accomplish that.